Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we are going to be talking about the Xbox Series S and kind of how I feel about this console going through this generation, well, compared to the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. So this is going to kind of touch on all three of those. But first, some interesting news came out today stating that this is the fastest selling Xbox console that for any Xbox generation. They are now over 12 million consoles sold. That means that the PlayStation 5 is not outselling the Xbox Series X and S 2-1. I would probably put that at probably like 70-30, you know, with maybe Xbox Series S's or about 70% of those are sold through. That would explain the major rise in viewership for this channel since I started covering Xbox Series S, you know, more seriously. Because let's face it, that Xbox Series S is the platform for next generation gaming. Like whether you like it or not. 4K TVs are a little bit, I mean, they are coming down in price. They're definitely to a point now where you can go and pick up a 4K TV for the same price that you would have gotten a I mean, they're starting to get to about the range where we're getting ones not as hard as it could be, or not as expensive as like previous, like, you know, last generation. Getting a 4K TV, you know, they started off pretty high. I remember the first one I bought was like $3,000. That thing lasted literally 2 years, and then it freaking just stopped working. So I was like, man, that really sucks. So, yeah. So as we go through this generation, Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S is definitely going to play a major role on this channel. There are a lot of them out there. There's a lot of people buying them. They are readily available on the shelf, and people want to know what's going on with that. Now, I do still recommend fully recommend getting a 1440p monitor or a 1080p TV for this. My ultimate recommendation is the monitor. You are going to be able to take advantage of everything the Xbox Series has, and it is going to perform on a 1440p monitor. In my testing in over 100 games, I have 300 games that I'm still playing on the Series S and I'm still testing. So let's get this out first right now. The Xbox Series S does have every single feature that you can get on the Xbox Series X. It does have quick resume. It has FPS boost. It has auto HDR. It has variable refresh shading or variable refresh rate. It has the mesh shaders, the DirectX 12. Every single talking point, buzzword that Microsoft said is in the Xbox Series S. It does have the full complete version of Velocity architecture. You do get the exact same hard drive. The exact same hard drive specs from the Series X are in the Series S, albeit at a smaller thing. But you get yourself one of these right here, the memory cards. This is the 1 terabyte. You put that in there, that automatically enhances your storage capability. That automatically enhances your storage capability to give you more direct space for your Xbox Series X and S games. And I was going to kind of show you, but like, look, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I probably should have put this, you know, on my thing, but as you can see, those are just the ones that I don't have installed. These are just the ones that I don't have installed on my Series X. There's a lot of games that are optimized for Xbox Series X and S. So having more storage is going to be the point of, man, do I want to keep transferring games back and forth? Now, I did make a video previously. Maybe look back at that one and see that. I'll see if maybe I can link it to this video. I'm not exactly sure how to exactly do which video I want on there, but if you look at some of the games, like if you go into the thing, I will try to find a way to link that video because I explained how to do that. I showed you step for step how to do that. Some of these games that are Xbox Series X and S enhanced are not required to be on fast storage. So knowing that will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Whether you can just go out and buy like an SSD, freaking external SSD to be able to save those games, because transfer speed from that to the system is way faster than a mechanical drive. But you're about the same price. If you get a 1 terabyte one of those cards, you're right around $150 for those. I paid $200 for that Samsung T5. The T7 for a 1 terabyte's about $200. You can usually find them on sale now. They are coming down in price a little bit, so that is definitely good. If you are the kind of person like me that buys a lot of games, yeah, you'll probably want to invest in at least a 1 terabyte card. I don't feel like going for the 512 card is going to net you the return on your purchase. I do have the 2 terabyte in my Series X, and I do have the 1 terabyte for my Series S. So with the 2 terabyte, I feel like that is the most bang for your buck and will probably hold you over pretty close for the rest of this generation. If you're an average gamer and you only buy like maybe 5 games a year, or two to 4 games a year, that will definitely hold you over. The 1 terabyte card could probably do that, depending on if you're the kind of person that beats your game and then deletes them. Me, I like to have as many of my games downloaded as possible so that I can continue to go back and play through those. It just saves you so much money. So, all right, now that we're done talking about it, let's get into the 3 freaking reasons, or these 3 consoles, okay, and where I see this generation really playing out, and where I see most of the stuff playing out on what level. I believe the Series S is going to be the market leading console for this generation, and there's a reason for that. Value. PlayStation does not really give you any value like last generation. Last generation, you had the PlayStation 4 and you had the Xbox One. The Xbox One was $100 more at launch. The PlayStation 4 was more powerful. And it was cheaper. So yeah, a lot of people from Xbox migrated over to PlayStation. But that isn't there anymore. That savings is no longer there. The PlayStation 5 is a $500 console with $70 games. The Xbox Series X is a $500 console with Game Pass. The Xbox Series S is $300 and delivers a next-gen experience for $300. So I definitely see the Xbox Series S being that main console that a lot of developers are going to be forced to really support and really take advantage of that console, because that's going to be their market. If you look at that, the Xbox Series S is in line with a generational leap from last gen, from Xbox One to Xbox Series S. That is a direct leap in normally what we would normally get from consoles. It packs in the way more power. It packs in, all the new features of everything. It definitely delivers on a scale of like being able to put more stuff on the screen in terms of, you're going from, one generation to the next. You get more stuff on your screen every single time. You get more density and visuals. You get more fidelity. Xbox Series S delivers that. Now, I've showed you guys Assassin's Creed running on it. I've showed you Far Cry 6 running on that. I've showed you some of the better developers, like me personally. I feel like Ubisoft is one of the better developers that are really going to utilize that Xbox Series S and really push that puppy forward, because they are going to bring you not only the higher resolution that you would want, they're going to bring you a stable frame rate as well for the most part. The more they learn to utilize that console, I feel like the better they're going to be able to deliver. And Ubisoft isn't really known for their super flashy visuals. They're more of a consistent. They're consistent. They give you bigger worlds. They give you plenty of stuff to do. It's one of those things where Ubisoft games have really entertained me for a long time, since the PlayStation 3 and Xbox, or Xbox 360 generation. Like games like Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, those type of games have really been a pretty decent focal point of my gaming experience. I love open world games. I do. The more the better for me. I love them. I love spending time in them. I love exploring those worlds. So I do believe the Xbox Series S is really going to lead this generation more than the PlayStation 5 is. The PlayStation 5 is really centered around this whole fast SSD thing. They literally gave up extra power and other features to really try to push this SSD speed thing at the cost of, the PlayStation 5 it's not quite a 4K machine, and it's more powerful than it needs to be a 1440p console. It's somewhere in the middle. So the consistency of how that thing is going to run and operate, you're either going to get a 4K 30 FPS game, or you're going to get 1440p to 1800p 60 FPS games. That's kind of where it kind of just falls short. It kind of just falls short of 4K, and it's more than what's needed for 1440p. So it's just kind of that experience to where third-party developers are going to be like, well, I guess we could just make it 1800p and then the Xbox version 4K, or yeah, we're going to go ahead and just shoot for 1440p to 1600p on the PlayStation 5, and we'll get the Xbox up to 1800p or 4K or whatever. I mean, that's the kind of that's kind of what we left with last generation with, Xbox and PlayStation. The PlayStation versions were either getting up to either a really pretty 1080p, or they were doing like a checkerboard solution, which doesn't really hold up that well unless it was one of the Sony first party companies. They did a pretty good job. I mean, you can go back and look at, Final Fantasy and all them other games that tried to do the checkerboard. I mean, I think, well, you know what? Tomb Raider, they did a pretty decent job on it too. So that's kind of my thoughts for the PlayStation 5. It's just kind of in the middle. And then the Xbox Series X is definitely going to be able to give you I would say a more consistent experience on a 4K television or 4K monitor. Something I definitely feel like I feel like the Xbox Series X is just powerful enough, and after they get like DirectML up and running on the Xbox Series X, I think that's really going to take advantage of it, and it's going to push this generation a lot more forward. And Xbox Series S will be able to take advantage of that too. Anything that will be able to give you a solid image and be able to retain that performance. I do believe in things like DLSS. Okay, when I turn on DLSS on my laptop to run games on my monitor here, I'm very impressed with the way DLSS works. If DirectML can mimic that and deliver that experience on the Xbox consoles, like the PlayStation, like they've got checkerboard rendering. That's what they have. DLSS definitely blows checkerboard rendering out of the water. Like it literally looks native. You cannot see any of the fuzz or any of the stuff that you can with checkerboard rendering. So I like the fact that DirectML is built right into the hardware of the Xbox Series X and S. Sony's so cagey. They don't really come out and talk about their software things or whatever they're doing with their stuff. All the games that I've played on the PlayStation 5 to date, they have a resemblance of having some sort of a baked-in checkerboard solution into the API, whether it's temporal injection or it's checkerboard rendering. It looks like it's been designed and implemented to work and run extremely well on the PlayStation 5, even across third-party titles. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I mean, Godfall exhibits it. You've got games like MXGP 2021 that look like it's using it. MotoGP 21, and it just kind of gives the look, like it kind of gives the image like a fuzzy look, but a sharp fuzzy look. So I know this doesn't probably make sense, but it looks as though like these PlayStation games are exhibiting some sort of a temporal fill in the visuals. Like nothing looks solid. It looks like it's consistently moving. And I mean, obviously, I sit close enough to my monitor to where I can actually like see that and pick it up. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten really close to my monitor or my TV to look at it to see it like as close as I can. And that's what it exhibits to me. That's what it looks like. That's what I get when I see that. So when I'm looking at that kind of stuff and I'm seeing that, I'm like, well, I mean, like, uh, I like the solution that Microsoft is going with that. I think that we're in a pretty good place this generation going forward. I think that we're going to start seeing some of the best freaking designed games we've ever seen in our life. We are going to start seeing bigger worlds, more dense, packed with more stuff. We're going to see better AI due to things like Azure Cloud. Microsoft. Seeing Flight Simulator run on my Xbox Series S blew my freaking mind. Like, it already blew my mind running on the Xbox Series X. Now, watching that thing look and feel just as good as it does on my Series X on this 1440p monitor, I'm sold. I'm completely sold with the Xbox Series S. Like, I have no freaking doubt in my mind that this is going to be and going to deliver a next-gen experience for a bargain price. You factor in the cost of Game Pass and the fact that Microsoft delivers pretty solid stuff every month for that thing. And I mean, they've been surprising us left and right. I mean, this month you're going to get that new Ubisoft Rainbow Six Extraction right there day one on Game Pass. Ubisoft Plus is coming to freaking Xbox. Now, me personally, I usually buy all the Ubisoft games. I usually buy them right when they come out. So will Ubisoft Plus be a value to me? No, it's not a value to me. I already own all the games. I already buy them. I already buy them day one. So, but if you sign up for Ubisoft Plus, you do get those full games, as well as you get like the ultimate edition of these games. Like, you get all the DLC, you get all the stuff that would come with that if you're signed up to Ubisoft Plus. Now, you will lose all of that content if you don't continuously pay for your subscription. But that's the thing, it's like, what is that worth to you? I mean, within 3 to 6 months, you can usually get Ubisoft games at least half price, or even like a year later, you'll be able to get the Ultimate Edition for like $25. So that's something to really think about. I mean, if Ubisoft was pumping out, a game every other month or something, it would definitely be worth it to pay the $15 a month for that service. If they stick to this course that they're on right now and not being able to deliver as many games as they normally would, then I just don't know if Ubisoft Plus is a value unless it's included into Game Pass. If they find a way to include it into Game Pass for maybe like a $5, $5, I think $5 would be fair. I think $5 is definitely a fair increase to Game Pass for that. Like Ubisoft or like Game Pass Ultimate Plus, like a Game Pass Ultimate Plus edition with Ubisoft Plus, and because I mean, you're already getting EA Play in there, and EA Play is a dang good value on its own. Like, EA Play is $30 for a whole year for that subscription, 2 months of that, and you're paying for 1 year of that is 2 months of Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus games do have a lot more stuff to play. I mean, I guess you could sign up for it for a month and see if that is right for you. If you don't buy all their games, they definitely got a lot of gems in there that are definitely worth playing, and you do get access to everything that is on the Xbox. So that is pretty freaking sweet. But in terms of, having the Xbox Series S now incorporated into my studio, I'm completely satisfied with it. It has completely delivered a full-on next-gen experience for me that I feel is definitely worthy of the price. I do recommend the Xbox Series S if you haven't really upgraded to a 4K TV, or say you're on a budget. But you already do have a 4K TV. Say you were playing like Xbox One X last generation, or if you got a PlayStation 4 Pro, yeah, definitely it's not going to... You're definitely getting a far better machine by going with the Series S. So if you're going from Xbox One X, like, I cannot really recommend going to the Series S, especially if you have Game Pass, because you'll be able to stream all of those next-gen games at 1080p, 60 frames a second, basically, but then you are leaving maybe a little bit of resolution on the table. because 1440p generally does scale pretty well as long as it's not checkerboard on a 4K TV. Checkerboard 1440p is terrible. Like that, checkerboard just does not work upscaling. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like that's me though. I mean, everybody else has their own little things that they're willing to accept with visuals and, you know, performance gains and whatever else. But for the price, the Xbox Series S is hands down the best value this generation. Best value. The second best value is the Xbox Series S or Xbox Series X, hands down. Like even that with a Game Pass subscription at $500, that is way more of a value than you could have asked for. You're definitely getting exactly, or you're getting more than you paid for. PlayStation 5 is the only one that I do not think represents any value whatsoever. I don't think it's a value. Everything that they've launched within this first year has just not been, aside from, you know, like Deathloop and maybe one other game like Sackboy, everything that they've launched this year just really hasn't given me the value return that I think that I normally would get from a PlayStation first party game. And that's why I'm a little bitter, to be completely honest with you. Usually I'm able to like sit down and play through a PlayStation first party game and I'm like, yeah, man, that was great. You know, I get my 25 to 30 hours out of them and I'm usually fine with that. I usually have no problem with that. As much money as I am into this PlayStation 5 right now with all the games that I've bought in, I just have yet to receive that. And then there's some other stuff that I've bought on both consoles just so I could review on this channel. I've gotten like Far Cry 6. I've gotten Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've gotten basically every game that I really, really love. I've bought a second copy on the PlayStation 5. And even those, I mean, like, I know you can hear all freaking day long that, oh, it's running better on the PlayStation 5 and stuff like that. No, that's not the case. That is not the case. I promise you that is not the case. When you look at Far Cry 6 on the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series S, you can definitely tell that it is a lower resolution. It looks far sharper. It looks way more crisp. It looks a lot cleaner, like way better on the Xbox Series X. And it does run Dolby Vision. And yeah, that's a thing with Series S too. You do get Dolby Vision. Now, in order to get Dolby Vision on your Xbox Series S, you are going to have to run that on a 4K TV that has Dolby Vision, or if there's a monitor out there that you can find that will support Dolby Vision, that will be your only choice. But as it sits right now, dang, man, the Xbox is about to have another better year. They're going to have a better year. They've already sold through 12 million, and that was at the end of the year. So I know that I've seen Series S's on the shelves all the time. I've seen more people being able to get Xbox Series X now. So I think supply constraints are really starting to move forward. I'm seeing, you know, reports that, you know, scalpers are losing money. They're starting to go lower price on scalping websites and stuff. So I don't know, man. Let's see how well Sony holds its lead. I've been telling people this since I've had this channel. I just don't see PlayStation 5 as a value. Do I think you should have a PlayStation 5? Yeah, dude. If you like Sony first party games, yeah, they're going to deliver some amazing experiences this generation. But which one's going to give you the better value? The Xbox. Either one of the Xboxes is going to deliver a next gen experience and provide you with some of the best freaking value we have ever seen in gaming since the inception of freaking video games. And I'm coming, like, I came from Nintendo and Super Nintendo. We were paying $70 for those games back when $70 was like $200. You know what I mean? Like, it was worth money back then. $70 ain't worth nothing now. That's what it literally cost me $70 to fill my gas tank. Back then, it was probably like $70 would be your gas price for a whole year. So maybe not in my truck, but it would definitely be at least 6 months of gas easily. So for a teenager like me, but that's what I'm saying. This is the best value we've ever seen in gaming. Game Pass is one heck of a freaking value. We're getting new games. We're getting pretty solid titles into Game Pass. You know, we just got Forza Horizon 5, which is definitely definitely one heck of a video game. I have to keep playing with that because it's an OLED. And I was going to play some games, but I wanted to record this video just because it's pretty exciting, man. Like, I'm pretty excited for Xbox. I know a lot of other people that are pretty excited for Xbox, and we're definitely in this fight. Xbox is definitely in this fight. Does that mean the PlayStation's going to fail? No, PlayStation is not going to fail. Do I think the PlayStation VR is going to be more gimmick? If PlayStation, okay, see, all right, here's my thoughts on this, Kay. This is my own thoughts. If anybody can push VR forward, it's going to be PlayStation. It will. Like, if anybody can push it forward, PlayStation can definitely do a lot more than a lot of other companies out there. As soon as VR gets to be more mainstream, like this is the, like, Quest VR 2 or Quest 2 or Oculus Quest 2 and PlayStation VR are probably going to be the two top selling ones, because that Quest VR is super impressive. If PlayStation could, but I already think PlayStation's already shot themselves in the foot by insisting that that thing has to be plugged in. By insisting that that thing has to be a wired headset out of the gate. Now, maybe they might do two versions of it. One of them's wired and one of them's wireless. Maybe they'll do that. I would really hope those. If they do that, they better come out at the same time, because I do not want to go buy a wired PSVR just to be told, oh, well, now we're coming out with a wireless unit and it'll be able to, you can plug it in, or you that's going to make me mad. That would make me extremely mad. I could see PlayStation doing something like that, like running full gun to try to get this corded one out and then be like, oh yeah, you know what? That Quest VR is pretty cool. Let's make that happen. I could see PlayStation definitely doing that. I could definitely see him doing a PlayStation 5 Pro this generation as well. I really hope not. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I would buy one because I'll just put that PlayStation in the front room and use it out there. So it doesn't matter to me. I will always have the best consoles when they come out for this channel to be able to bring you guys the best solid content I can. And, you know, I'm going to close with this. We've had this channel now for 9 months. Today is exactly 9 months. Today is exactly 9 months when I started this channel. So we've grown really fast. We have made mistakes along the way. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way too. We are consistently trying to, I say we, but me, I am consistently trying to make this channel better. I'm consistently trying to upgrade my equipment and make it so I can deliver better content. If I'm covering stuff, I go out of my way. I put my money where my mouth is to be able to bring you that content as quickly as possible. Now, every once in a while I get free code from developers, but gosh, not as much as I buy games. Like, nowhere near. I mean, I buy way more games than I've ever gotten code for. And usually when I get code, it's not really, you know, huge games that are really big, but every once in a while, you know, it does happen. And I'm really hoping to be able to get this code for this certain game next month that I've asked for, I've put in for it. If they give it to me, I will cover this game extensively, because this is definitely one that I'm looking forward to playing. So hopefully I get that. And if I do get a code for that, I will possibly end up buying a code and maybe giving it away on the channel for that one. So hopefully I would like to. Well, I mean, if they give me code early enough to where I can actually play it before the game launches, then I would definitely buy a code and give it out. But if they give it to me like I have been getting them on the day of release or like after release, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, so yeah, in closing, I think the Xbox Series S is really positioned to be the leading console of this generation. All that's going to take is you buying one, more people buying one, and more people, you know, putting it out there that, hey man, this is definitely a viable console. If the Nintendo Switch can sell millions of freaking units, there's no reason why the Xbox Series S, positioned in that market, can't do the same and be able to deliver a solid experience. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. I know it got a little bit weird or whatever, but hey, you know what, man? I love making these videos. I love talking to you. I love telling you exactly what's on my mind. I've been thinking about this all freaking day. So yeah, dude, I'm excited about video gaming. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about Xbox. I'm excited about PlayStation. I'm excited about Nintendo. Like, dude, video games are better than I've ever experienced in my whole entire life, and they're only getting better. So I hope that you subscribe to this channel and you enjoy video games, and you know, like help our community grow. Seriously, help our community grow so that we can have a voice to make things better in the industry. That's the best that any of us can hope for. So with that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you are a freaking trooper. Thank you so much.